Hey, hi, hello, good morning, happy Monday. Welcome back. My name is Emily Webster. I am a 6th year, 2nd grade teacher in North Texas, and welcome to a week in my life. I am back in the saddle. We are doing the darn thing. This is the Monday after spring break. I am just going in full swing. It's the start of a new quarter. It's the last quarter, 9 weeks till summer, and I am just ready. I'm hitting the ground running. I'm gonna make sure that this gets posted, okay? If it does, please throw me some confetti in the comments. I would love that. So anyway, like I said, it's the Monday after spring break. And I'm feeling very energized today. I'm also tired because I woke up at 3:50 this morning and could not go back to sleep. So then I laid on the couch for a little bit, fell back asleep, and by the time I was finally drifting off into a slumber, it was time to get up. I worked out this morning, so that's great, but you know what? Here we are. So it is currently Monday, March 24th. So that's fantastic. I'm gonna give you a coffee cheers from Salad and Go, my all-time favorite place. Here's what is on the agenda for today. So I am almost certain we have a staff meeting after school today, which is not always the most pleasant on your first day back after a break. So we have that. I don't have any meetings during planning, so that's good. Grades are due today. So I finished all of my grading, albeit some of it yesterday because I left my grading bin up at school and have some of the papers that I needed. So I had to come up here yesterday and grade some things, which ended up being good because I was able to make the copies for the entire week. So whew, good there. Meeting after school, grades are due today, and I have a student, without like saying too much, we have a program at our school that's kind of like a SPED program, but not really, and they get to come into your class like for what they call out class, and the student has not come into my class yet, but he is on my roster, and so I need to know for our conduct grade how I can what I should be putting there, if I should leave it blank. I don't think I should leave it blank. So I need to go talk to our registrar, if that's what you want to call her, today to figure that out in the next hour because grades are due at 8. So yeah, it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be a great week, and it's going to be a great quarter. I have all the positive vibes going into this day, but I have been mumbling for the last 3 minutes. So let's get inside and get our marvelous Monday started. Okay, so it is way after school. It is 4:48, and I was going to go to the grocery store because I do need to do that, and it's so late, and I wasn't going to check in, and I was like, no, you are committing to this vlog. So here we are. I am here, and we did so many cute things today. I'm grabbing some spaghetti noodles. We did so many cute things today, and I want to share with you what we did. So in reading, we talked about chronological order and how authors organize text, and it's been really fun now because we've read a lot of different texts, and I was able to tell them the different way that authors could organize text, and today was chronological order. And If you've been around here for any time at all, you know that I love whole brain teaching. And when I said the words chronological order, I saw my students going like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, it stuck and they understood. So we read, this looks like it should say Callie. It's actually Cully's story about an orphaned polar bear. And it's a really sweet nonfiction story about a polar bear that was rescued. And at the end of the story, the polar bear gets to be with another polar bear named Luna at the Buffalo Zoo. And so they wrote a little paragraph about what it would be like to visit Cully and Luna at the zoo. I told them that if they wrote enough about it, then maybe I could type it into AI and see what pops up, because they've really been loving that. Pro tip, they absolutely love if you type their writing into ChatGPT or any AI program like Magic School, and they like the image that comes up. That's been a really big fan favorite in here. In writing, where is that? We started our animal research projects. I know you guys remember these from last year. I absolutely love this project that we do. It is so much fun because I get to see all of their writing. And we used to do this project at the beginning of, not really the beginning of the year, more like October, November time. And now that we do it in the last quarter or close to the last quarter, I get a lot better results. Like, they write a whole lot more, they're more detailed, they're more confident in their writing. And so I'm just really excited about this, and the students were so excited. Okay, and then in math, we started our geometry unit all about shapes. And we got to do something that is one of my favorites and my students' favorites. We did math by the book and we read The Old Truck. It's a really sweet story, and how this works is on the page there's like geometric figures. So on this page you see the rectangles and the square and any other shapes that they can find, and they noticed that the sky itself was a rectangle. So on each page we just identified the 2D shapes, and then we talked about what polygons were and what polygons were not. And they were each given 2 pieces of spaghetti to break apart. Like, for example, if I broke it into 3 sections, they obviously did this on the table, but I have a camera, and they would make like a triangle or whatever. And we had to talk about how it couldn't be open. It had to be a closed shape, that it had to have 3 or more sides, that there couldn't be any curves. And I was like, you can't really curve a spaghetti noodle unless it's cooked. So that was so much fun. And then because in the book, there is a garden, what they did today, this is my example, they made polygon gardens with a cute little coat, and these turned out really cute and perfect for springtime. And I think I'm gonna hang them up around the room because they are so fun. So it was a really good time today. And then in science, we continued our discussion about animals and their life cycles. And today we talked about the life cycle of a butterfly again. I didn't mean to wear these on a day that we're talking about butterflies, but I wore my very hungry caterpillar earrings. And then we talked about the life cycle of a frog, and we did a little exit ticket on the life cycle of a frog or a butterfly. They had to describe it. I told them that they could write and draw, but they at least had to write. And then of course I had a few overachievers who did both. So that was a lot of fun. It was a really good first day back. I was talking to a coworker, and we both feel like we are just so overstimulated after today. Today was definitely a overstimulating day. They had a lot to say, they had a lot of movement, and I love the 4th 9 weeks in the sense that like I get to have a talk with them every single year and say, hey, like, you are closer to being 3rd graders than you ever have been before, and you need to start acting like 3rd graders. You gotta have more independence and you know, all of those things. So it was a really good day back. I am exhausted. I know tomorrow I'm going to be just like drained. I always am on a Tuesday, but tonight we are gonna go to the grocery store. I also really need to go like on a walk or a run. I'm hoping my husband gets home in time to where we could like go on a walk together. That would be a lot of fun, but who knows? So anyway, sorry I keep waving this spaghetti around. I really liked this activity. It was a good time. So my desk is a mess. I need to get ready to go home, but I will see you in the AM.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. And I am a lot more chipper this morning than I thought I was going to be. I am pleasantly surprised with myself. I woke up at 5 this morning. I told myself last night when I was going to bed, I was like, you're getting up and you're running in the morning. And I am happy to report that I got up this morning and I did go on a run. Now, it was a walk jog situation because I'm doing the Couch to 5K app, which I just realized this morning that it's no longer like, maybe it wasn't free the whole time and the person that I was doing it with paid for it, but after 2 weeks, actually not even after full 2 weeks, after a week and a day, you have to pay for it. So I was like, oh, that's no fun. So we're gonna have to find something else out for that. But I did a little walk jog this morning at the apartment complex, which I was a little nervous about. It's me and like 5 other people that are up in the morning consistently, and I was like, oh, people that were walking and running. I'm just like, good morning, I'm a newbie, I'm here doing the thing. But I did do it and I'm really proud of that. And I thought that I was gonna have less time this morning. I feel like I had more time to get ready. Like I even had enough time to FaceTime my sister for a few minutes before she went into her shift as a nurse. So I am here a little bit later today. It's 7:08 and the sunrise is gorgeous this morning. I don't think, hold on, let me see if I can show you. That's like not even doing it justice, but like, oh, it's so pink and pretty. It looks more orange on camera, but oh, good morning. And then there were some ducks out there and that made my heart happy too. So good morning. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah, it's gonna be a great day. I can always tell when I see the sunrise or when I see a hot air balloon. I think I've mentioned that before. We have like a hot air balloon company that I think is somewhere out north of where we are, but we'll see hot air balloons every now and again based on the way the wind is blowing. And whenever I see a hot air balloon in the morning, I know it's gonna be a good day. And one time in this field right here, the students saw one earlier this year. Like we thought it was going to land outside of our school, but it didn't. It like came really low and then came back up. So anyway, happy Tuesday. It is going to be a good day. Today is tutoring day, tutoring times 2. I tutor at school and then I go home and I tutor online. Good news about tonight for tutoring is that the last time I tutored at home, we didn't make it through the entire activity that I had planned, so I don't have to lesson plan, which is nice. And then I think my husband's working late tonight, so we're not gonna be able to go on our evening walk. That's fine. I really need to record sit-down videos. That's something that I told myself I was gonna do over spring break, and then I got busy because I was taking care of my grandma in Kansas. So anyway, all of the things, but we're excited. We're happy to be here, and it's gonna be a terrific Tuesday. Oh boy, was it a day. I didn't have a chance to check in at school because it is 4:55 and I tutor at 5:15, tutored after school, and so I didn't have a chance to update you on all the things that we did today. It was a really good day. I am really tired. The run was so good this morning, and like I am already, hold on, I am almost at 15,000 steps today, which is fantastic for today. So I really loved that I took a run this morning, but I am also very tired. So we're gonna get inside, eat a little snack, and then hopefully I can remember to get some clips of tutoring today because I like having that and have a little time lapse of it. But anyway, yeah, happy after school. I am so tired. I'm like ready to sleep. Like I could curl up with a blanket and probably go to bed right now. Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is bright and early. Normal time I'm getting here, it's 7 a.m. You already know I stopped at Salad and Go today. Actually, maybe you didn't know that, but here's a cheers. I love Salad and Go. Okay, it's a Wednesday, which means I have lunch duty today, which is why I went to Salad and Go, because I didn't want to heat up food to walk around with in the cafeteria. One, I'm just not in love with my meal prep this week. I tried this baked chicken orzo chicken recipe and the flavor is there, but I think my mess up is that I didn't have tinfoil and I was like, oh, it'll be fine to cook it uncovered, and I think it just made it like, I don't even, like, the consistency is just not there. So we're gonna try it again because I like the flavor. Anyhow, and I could link the recipe for you. I found it on, I believe, TikTok or Instagram, one of the two. Anyway, I went to Salad and Go, so I would have something that was easy to hold around for lunch duty today. Anyway, last night, I think I included some clips of some lightning, and not the thunder that was accompanied with it, but it was like surround sound thunder last night. It was so odd. My husband and I went on a walk around, I want to say it must have been 6:30 or 7, and I saw the storms building up. So there were storms to the north of us, there were storms to the south of us, and like I started to feel the wind roll in, and I was like, ooh, rain is on the way. They were big, like supercell clouds, and I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, we get done with our walk and I hear thunder, and I was like, I didn't think we were supposed to get rain. Like, the chance of rain was really small. Like, light rain is starting within the hour, and then it was like, it'll stop shortly. But then we got a severe thunderstorm warning, which I don't get scared of severe thunderstorms per se. I'm scared of tornadoes. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. We got the severe thunderstorm warning, and I was like, uh-oh, because my husband and I looked at the temperature and it was 70 degrees, and we were like, oh, it's like prime hail weather. Last night it was bad. So I was cooking dinner and then I just heard like pelting on the roof, and we're on the 3rd floor of our apartment complex. I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. So there was a hailstorm last night. It happened twice actually. So it happened and then it stopped for about 10 minutes, and my husband and I were outside, and then we heard it go again, and I was like, this is not good. So it was a few waves of severe thunderstorm. So I don't mind a good storm every now and again. Anyway, you are not watching this vlog to hear me talk about a thunderstorm. It is the little joys in life though. And I say that because I wear my Today I Choose Joy shirt. I have been reading a treasure hunt book. Don't laugh. I have been reading a treasure hunt book by John Collins Black. It is a book where he's hidden 5 treasure boxes throughout the US. The book is your treasure map to the treasure. And when I say that, there's like clues hidden in the book, and it's your job to figure out what those clues are and where this treasure is. I bought it because my dad bought it, and I thought it would be something that we could talk about together. Really, truly, the way that the book is laid out is it talks about the treasure inside this big treasure box, and then there are little life lessons, and it talks about the history of each treasure and how this treasure came to be in the book. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just a really good read. So even if you don't want to go in search of the treasure, I just like the book in general, and it's a good life lessons book. Like, it's really been helping me see things in a new perspective. And he also uses the word joy so much, and I was like, oh, I would be best friends with this guy in real life. So I'm wearing my Today I Choose Joy shirt, and remember that joy is in the details, friends. Joy is in the details. So yeah, and then get started for the day. So let's have a wonderful Wednesday. Just made it home. This is going to be a very well-rounded vlog, I feel. So I didn't check in to tell you what we did today. It was a very busy day, and then after school I had a parent phone call that I was telling you about, and it went so well. Like, I don't know why I was so worried about it, but it was a really good day. We had library, and in library they have been watching a video of this eagle's nest, like these baby eagles. And so we watched it today after library in our classroom. Loved it and had a great time. And it was a good little motivator for them. So loved that. Also, I'm happy to report, guys, I cannot believe I did this today. But I not only gave a reading quiz today over sea otter pups, but I graded it. I put it in the grade book. And I passed it back. I have no idea who I am. I cannot believe I did that. And then we took a math quiz today and it was on Eduphoria, but I also got that put in the grade book. So you know what? It might be day 3 of the new quarter, but I am sticking true to my goals, getting those grades done, because I definitely slacked on grades the last 9 weeks and it was so stressful and I don't want to do that again. So anyway, don't know who I'm turning it into. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this sticks. So we'll see. All in all, it was a great day. Like I said, we took that math test, we took a reading quiz. In writing, we continued our animal reports and we talked about their diet and what they ate, and we talked about how we can introduce our paragraphs with a question. So we practiced that today. Tomorrow we'll do interesting facts, and then Friday is like a catch-up day. So we'll see where that gets us. We might start editing and revising too if we have time. And then in science, we did honeybee and monarch butterfly research on PebbleGo. So it was a really good day. It was a really, really good day. And lunch duty was great. And I didn't have recess duty. Like I said, I'm lucking out with the rain. We ended up for all day, like all day long, it was dry and clear. It was cloudy, but it was clear. And then sure enough, right at 1 o'clock, I saw it start raining and I was like, oh no, we're going to be inside. But I wasn't inside because I had lunch duty. So I had a nice calm classroom for indoor recess, and I was able to get some of the links for next week's lesson plans done because, again, don't know who I'm turning into, but next week's lesson plans are done. So anyway, this will be a well-rounded vlog. I feel like it's a Wednesday, which means it's Survivor night. Pumped for that. And then I made a pasta dish. It was supposed to be a soup, but I found it on Emma Grace Jen's Instagram. She's one of my favorite YouTubers ever. She cooked it and she made it into a soup, but I decided to make it a little creamier, and I added it calls for cream cheese, but I had cream cheese, and then I also added some cornstarch to make it like a thicker pasta. My husband devoured it 2 weeks ago when I made it, so I think I'm gonna make that tonight. I think that'll be a really good cozy meal. And yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna get inside and do that. Also, like, I could go to sleep right now. Like, I feel like my blinks are like little mini sleeps. I am exhausted. It's definitely been not a rough one back, but definitely been just an exhausting week back after spring break. So anyway, let's get Happy Thursday. Here's a coffee cheers in one of my all-time favorite mugs that we've ever gotten. Hold on, let me see if I can turn it around and just prove to you that it's from where I say it's from. So we went to NASA on our honeymoon. For those of you that are new here, I am a year married on March 9th. So we've just celebrated a year of being married, and we took a delayed honeymoon and we went to Florida in September of 2024. Our last full day on our honeymoon, we drove from Fort Myers, Florida, so one coast of Florida, to Cape Canaveral, so the other coast of Florida, to go to NASA. Oh, hold on, my little cute astronaut guy. A very unconventional honeymoon, but it was so much fun, and like we just had a blast and a half together. So anyway, I wanted to use this guy today, and he brings me such good vibes. And the fun part about him is my sister has a matching one, so now we have little astronaut buddies together. Anyway, happy Thursday. I am in such a good mood. I have all the positive vibes. I know what's causing the good mood. One, I feel like my tides are turning, but two, I think more so, I have worked out every day except for yesterday this week in the morning, and it has just kind of given me new life. And I love them. I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but it has been. So that's been really great. I have been working out consistently in the morning since January, but it hasn't been every single day. And so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed. I feel like I'm able to get more done during the day, which just seems so backwards because you're like, oh, I'm spending 30 to 45 minutes working out. Like that takes up my time. But really, I find that it gives me more energy. So when I would normally be in bed by like 8:30, and just ready to conk out. I'm tired, don't get me wrong. Like, my body is physically tired, but up here, I'm like, oh, I can get stuff done. So for an example, last night we had some dishes in the sink because I had cooked dinner and like they had my lunch dishes and there were just dishes in the sink and I really didn't want to do them. And I told my husband I didn't want to do them. He's like, well, don't. And I'm like, no. Like, I have now created a routine of I close the kitchen every night. Told myself, Emily, just get up and do it. It's going to take you 10 minutes. Did you know it took me less than 10 minutes to close the kitchen? I attribute that to the fact that, like, I've just created discipline in myself, but two, I have the mental energy and the mental capacity to be able to, like, hey, I'm going to do this. And because yesterday I felt so motivated because I got my grading done for the day. I got papers passed back. I stuffed folders. So, like, that's not even something I have to do today. I'm just feeling really good. So anyway, hopefully our tides are turning and we're trending in an upward direction to not be so burnt out, which is just great. Anyway, good morning. Happy Thursday. Gonna be a good day. We do have a coworker out today. So we have a sub in her room. And so that really doesn't affect me much, but in case anything like goes awry. Yeah. What else is happening today? Nothing really. It's going to be hopefully a pretty chill day. Fingers crossed. It was supposed to be rainy, but it's not. Let's look and see what the forecast says. 77 degrees. Perfect weather. I'll be excited to be outside today. It'll be great. Yeah, I wish I had more to say, but I don't. Happy Thursday. Here's a cheer. Happy Friday. I know I kind of look like a toddler with this hair. There's a reason for it. So anyway, good morning. Happy Friday. Let's address the hair. Okay, one, I have been loving braided pigtails. Like, I've just been wearing them at home, and because I think it's a nice protective hairstyle and I don't have to like use heat on my hair for it. So there's that. But the other thing is, my sister is like super woo-woo-y and I love her. And she has been braiding her hair for me for good luck. And today, one of our coworkers' husbands has a job interview. And I was like, you know what? I am going to braid my hair for good luck for my coworker. So it's me and my teammate. We both did it. So anyway, there's that. We addressed the toddler hair. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about was this is probably the most successful vlog that I've done in a very long time. So we're going to talk about that. But here's a cheers. Good morning. I had a coworker next to me and I was getting a little anxious because cars are indeed not soundproof. They should be soundproof, I feel like. Anyway, good morning. I am thinking that this is one of the most successful vlogs that I've ever done, and I was reflecting on my way to work, and I was reflecting on the month of March specifically because this month has just flown by. Like, I cannot believe that next week is the beginning of April, and that means April Fool's Day. Anyway, that's not important. But next week is the beginning of April. And while I was driving, I was just thinking of God and God's sovereignty and God's grace, and just that He truly is with you through every season of your life, and that every season is just a season. So we celebrated our 1-year wedding anniversary a couple weeks ago, I think, like I mentioned a few days ago. And I just love March because I feel like March is so redemptive for me because February is always a tough month every single year. So March is a really redemptive month, and I have just been feeling all the good vibes lately. All the things, I've been going a mile a minute. I've worked out more this week. I've, like I mentioned, a successful vlog. I've been on top of my grading. Like, I don't know what's up with this Emily, but she's here to stay. So, a lot of like school check-ins, and that's okay. Today I will make sure I do one after school, and then yeah, also it's a rainy day, which means that we're gonna have indoor recess today, which is always not the best. And also, as I'm sitting here, like, it's starting to rain harder and harder, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to walk inside. Also, why I wore my hair in braids today, because I didn't want the rain to ruin any hair, like any heat styling that I did on my hair. But I need to invest in a better rain jacket. My rain jacket is about 10 years old, and it's like cracked on the inside, and like I don't really know how protective it is anymore. So anyway, I have been blabbering for 4 minutes, and I really don't know how much of that made sense. But anyway, All of that to say, God's grace, sovereignty, and beauty is all around us, and I am reminded that every season is just that. It's a season, and that God is going to walk you through the highs as well as the lows. So anyway, happy Friday. I hope that it's a good one for you, and I will check in when we get inside. Okay, hello. Happy way after school. It is 4:44. I spent some time debriefing with a coworker. That's what we call it. We call it our little Friday afternoon debriefs. Today was a good day. First and foremost, the braids. I think I need to do this more often. One, because I really didn't have to use any heat on my hair this morning. Two, it was really simple and was something that like I could throw together really easily, and it goes great with just like a t-shirt and jeans. And four, the kids really liked it. At first they kind of looked at me funny because they were like, why does your hair look like that? Like, it doesn't normally look like that. So it was fine, but it was a really good day. They were wild today, but some little glimmers happened. And one of those little glimmers is that we got to go outside for recess. I did not think that we were going to be able to go outside for recess because of the rain, but it ended up being nice-ish this afternoon. We did tell the kids not to go on the playground equipment, but then that kind of backfired because then another class was out there with us and they were on the playground equipment, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's talk about what we did today because it was a good day. So in structured literacy, we took a little spelling quiz over our sound for the week. We've been covering O as and like in the word book. And then we've also covered it in like the word push. So we took a little spelling quiz this morning, and this is probably one that they did the best on, which was great. In reading, we read this story, At Home in the Wild, and actually it's a story of poems. And when I say we read, I read it to them yesterday, and today I needed to get them taking their quiz lickety split. So we listened to the story on HMH, but we read the collection of poems from the story At Home in the Wild, and then they took a little quiz, and I was listening to my coworkers on my team talk about it. Their class didn't do too well on the quiz, but mine actually didn't do too bad. So it's already graded, put in the grade book, and it's ready to pass back. So I'm so proud of that. It's another little glimmer from this week is that I was on top of my grades. Like, every subject has a grade, which is just chef's kiss. Like, I cannot believe that I did that. I know that that's something so simple, and to some of you that are probably so type A, you're like, Emily, how is that like hard? Well, it was hard for me, okay? And then also did these. So my friends that needed a little bit more reading support today, I had them get on Waggle, which is the literacy program that comes with HMH, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like Amplify or an iReady, it just comes with HMH. I had them get on that, but then my other friends got to do these little Sea Otter Pup trifolds, and I love these. I'm fairly certain I mentioned these last year, but in case I didn't, in case you're new, they have little questions that the students answer, and they have to go back in the story and answer them, and they're great for short constructed responses, but also just like something fun to do other than just a regular worksheet, and they feel really accomplished when they get them done, and they're so cute. So we did those, and they loved it. I can link them. They're by Emily Education. Yeah, that's who they are. Emily Education. I can link them, but I have them for almost all of our HMH units. So we did those in reading. And then in science today, I do not have my exemplar. A child has it. We did science explorer time, so we have something built into our day for intervention. I'm sure a lot of schools have this. We call ours explorer time since we're the explorers, but we did science today, and we have been talking about life cycles of animals. We've been talking about metamorphosis, and specifically this week we were talking about complete metamorphosis. So we have Science Fridays, and today I had all the students make a complete metamorphosis anchor chart. Now, they all look very similar, as one of my coworkers pointed out, because I had an exemplar and they chose to take their own creative liberties with my exemplar, but that's why we model, so that way they give us a good result. So that's what we did. We did those, and that was fun. And so that kind of took place of writing, which honestly, that was fine because we're ahead on where we need to be for writing. This was a catch-up day anyway, so we will publish next week. For math, we got to play with the pattern blocks. We did the Great Shape Challenge. And what they did is I said, okay, you have 2 trapezoids. What shape can be made with the 2 trapezoids? And like, oh, we're hexagons. So we worked in part. I can show you some of the slides, but it was really fun and it was good critical thinking because lots of them stumped them. So I think one of them was 7 triangles and 3 hexagons, and they had to make a triangle with just those shapes. That one stumped them. And then there was another one that really got them. Oh, it was a hexagon. So 1 hexagon, 3 triangles, and 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 trapezoids. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to see the slides. But we did the Great Shape Challenge and they loved it and they had a good time. And then after they did that, they had a worksheet that they had to complete where like they had these shapes. This is a really bad angle, but I'm trying not to show you them. So they had the shapes and then they had to make the thing next to it. And this was hard because drawing the shapes are hard. And then on the back, they had something a little bit similar, but multiple choice style questions. And this was just simple and it was a really good time. So I was happy with that. Social studies, we started our conversation about maps yesterday. This was one of my favorite activities. I didn't get a chance to put as much like effort into this one as I did last year, but we talked about maps. We did some map skills activities and then we created maps. So here was my exemplar. Everyone don't laugh. The one I did last year was so much better and I wish that I would have kept it. I know I recorded it, but I couldn't find it. I think I threw it away. But here's my map, my exemplar. And we had some other ones like Flower City. Cute, cute, cute. But watching them make maps is a ton of fun. So anyway, they made their maps and that was great. And then we got to go outside and it was just honestly a really good day. They were a little rowdy today, but that's to be expected because they were cooped up a lot of this week. So anyway, I am really proud of this vlog. It is a Friday night. I am really tired. This weekend, we have some fun plans. My husband and I are going to deep clean our apartment because it needs it. We need to just declutter and do all of the things. Tomorrow I also have book club, which is really exciting. So what we're doing is we are going to give presentations, whatever that means to you. So if that's an interpretive dance, it's an interpretive dance. If it's a slideshow, it's a slideshow. If it's a poem, it's a poem. I really do not want to recite poetry or do an interpretive dance in front of my book club, so I will probably be doing a Google Slides activity to talk about a book, but I'm interested to see what goes on tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. And then I don't think we have anything on Sunday. So anyway, I'm really proud of this vlog. I hope you've stayed till the end. If you stayed till the end, go ahead and leave me a crayon emoji. I hope those still exist. And if those don't exist, leave me a glasses emoji. Do those still exist? I hope they do. Who knows? Or just leave me an emoji of some kind. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so that way other teachers just like you can find and keep the joy in teaching too. I will see you in next week's video. See you later.